Could Tony Stark actually be building a Thanos Buster armor within Avengers 4? Could that actually happen within the movie? I'm going to be breaking down this theory and actually telling you guys within this video if this will happen or if it won't, and we will get an official answer at the end of this video. How's it going, Webheads? My name is Ryan Walsh and welcome to Webhead, where I help you guys keep up to date with all of the latest in geek entertainment. Of course, today is a huge theory that's blowing up on YouTube and the internet. Is Tony Stark going to be creating this Thanos Buster armor for Avengers 4? Now, before we really get into this theory, I do want to say right off the bat, this is a brand new theory series that I have going on in my channel. This is where I'm actually going to be taking these theories that are going to be coming out on all different kinds of movies and video games, and I'm actually going to be bringing them in, and I'm going to be explaining them in the first part of the video, and then the last part of the video, go over points, whether it's actually going to be true or whether it's going to be false, and we're going to be tallying everything up that we actually come up with, and whatever gets the highest number means that's actually going to happen or it's actually not going to happen. So let's get into this video and let's get into this awesome theory. Now, this theory really goes all around of Tony Stark is really going to be using the majority of the movie in Avengers 4 to really be going throughout all of either time or reality. It could be going through different dimensions, it could be going through different realities, it could be going through different time periods. We don't really know, it's not that specific on that, but really just going through anything of those and going and getting all these Infinity Stones, gathering them all up, and then he's going to be using either vibranium along with Shuri and all of Wakanda to actually use that to actually hold all these Infinity Stones, or he's going to be using the Uru metal. That's the same metal that actually goes into the Stormbreaker hammer, which we saw in Infinity War. So he's going to be using either one of those metals to actually hold all of the Infinity Stones, because if you're going to be using that with just say any kind of armor, it's probably not going to work because it probably can't actually hold all 6 Infinity Stones. It probably can hold a stone or 2, but it probably can't hold all 6 because that is just too powerful. And obviously, as we learned in Infinity War, you need pretty powerful metal to actually hold all those Infinity Stones. And that's why Thanos went to Eitri on Nidavellir and actually had the Infinity Gauntlet made out of Uru metal. And then this armor will be used to defeat Thanos in Avengers 4. Now, this is all well and great, but could this actually happen? Now, personally for me, I think this is a little far-fetched, but at the same time, it definitely has some pretty good points of how this could happen. But really, let's get into the category of how this is a valid theory, how this could actually happen. What are the points of where we know this is definitely possible? Starting right off the bat, something with time travel, dimensional, and reality travel within Avengers 4 is definitely a big possibility, mainly because, and I actually went over this in one of my other videos, Scott Lang's daughter Cassie is already cast in Avengers 4 as an older adult, when in Ant-Man and the Wasp she's actually going to be a little girl. So when Avengers 4 comes around, either that's going to take place so far in the future, which is highly unlikely, that's probably not going to happen, or this is going to be a time travel movie where we're actually going to be seeing an older version of Cassie because they're going to the future, or they could be going to a different dimension where she's just older, different reality, it doesn't matter. Either one of those, that's what's going to happen. So I think that actually Cassie being cast as an older adult or an older teenager and probably going to be coming out as the superhero stature, that's a very good point to really say that this could actually happen. Also, they could definitely use vibranium or Uru metal to actually make this Iron Man armor. Vibranium is definitely something that Wakanda is going to be sharing with the entire world as of the events of the ending of Black Panther. So those events kind of confirmed that yeah, they're going to be sharing vibranium with the world. They're going to pick and choose who they're going to give it to, but as we saw in Infinity War, Captain Stephen Rogers actually has some of the vibranium with those shields that are on his arms. So obviously, they're willing to share that kind of technology. And then with the Uru metal, definitely if it's for the fate of the universe, I think King Eitri is going to be lending off some of that Uru metal. And then the last point that I really have to make on this, that it actually is true, is that Stark is definitely genius enough to make this armor. Also, he is going to be having a lot of help probably with either King Eitri if they're going to use Uru metal, or they're going to have Shuri to actually help him out with the armor as well. So they definitely have the genius behind all of this that they could definitely make this possible, especially with King Eitri because he already made the Infinity Gauntlet for Thanos. Now let's head on over to the not happening side for this theory. Now, if you really look at this, the Infinity Stones, and as the writers of Infinity War and the directors of Infinity War, even Kevin Feige, the producer of this movie, they all have described the Infinity Stones as saying that no one else can really wield the Infinity Stones because Thanos is the most powerful being in the universe, and you have to have incredible strength, incredible amount of strength to just hold one. Now with all 6, that is just too much to bear for a human being. And now I know a lot of you guys are probably like, well, if it's in vibranium or if it's on the Uru metal or even any other metal on top of them, it wouldn't really be touching Tony Stark. That's right, but at the same time, let's look back at Guardians of the Galaxy, the very first one where we had Ronan. Ronan put the Infinity Stone into his universal weapon that he uses, and he was still using the energy of the Power Stone within that. So I think that right there kind of disproves saying that metal would actually help him out, would actually protect him. That's not true, so I think that's a point right there. Also, if they went to Nidavellir specifically to get the Uru metal, that means they would be taking another journey to Nidavellir, which it's just kind of repetitive. Really thinking about the whole story of Avengers 4, why are they going to take another journey to Nidavellir when they already did that in Infinity War? So I think right there just kind of puts it at another point where it's just like, that's not going to happen. So I doubt that they're going to be using another journey to really get to Nidavellir. I think that just doesn't make sense for the movie. Also, another big thing is that this entire theory is riding on another theory of this movie. The whole theory of they're going to be doing time travel slash reality slash dimensional travel within this movie, which we just don't know if it's true or not. We don't know if they're actually going to be using any sort of those methods to really go about getting the Infinity Stones in this movie. They could just actually be going up against Thanos, preparing the entire universe, gathering a bunch of armies to go up against Thanos instead of actually going through time or different dimensions to go get all the Infinity Stones and creating their own Infinity Gauntlet or their own armor. And most likely that's not true if you really think about it. Most of the time these theories actually don't pan out. They usually aren't true. So this just riding on another theory is a big what if. Next, why the heck would Tony Stark be within this armor if you have someone like either Thor, the Incredible Hulk, or even Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel is going to be the most powerful Avenger, already confirmed by Kevin Feige himself. She's going to be the most powerful being in the entire MCU, other than probably Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet. She is going to be one of the most powerful beings in the entire universe. So why would you let Tony Stark get in that armor when you have someone like Carol Danvers within the movie? She could definitely bear the weight. So I think this whole thing of Tony Stark actually creating this armor, getting into the armor, and defeating Thanos just doesn't make sense, and I think that just doesn't pan out for the movie. Now, vibranium itself, as far as we know, probably couldn't hold all those stones. As far as we know, the only metal to really hold all 6 Infinity Stones is Uru metal, because that is what the Infinity Gauntlet is made out of. Now, vibranium may be very, very advanced, but at the same time, we just don't know if it can hold all of those stones. We know it can definitely hold the Mind Stone because Vision was made out of vibranium, and in his forehead was the Mind Stone, but he had a tough time, and he always said this within the movies, that he couldn't really control the stone. So really thinking about just one stone giving him a really hard time with a full vibranium body, I personally just don't think it's accurate to say that all 6 Infinity Stones could really be held up within the vibranium suit. I think that Eitri used Uru metal specifically because that was the only metal that could really hold all 6 Infinity Stones. So I think that's why he used that kind of metal. And also, really to back this up, in Infinity War, when you see actually Black Panther launching at Thanos trying to stop him, he actually gets knocked down. He gets destroyed by Thanos just by one punch, even with that full vibranium suit. And same with Captain America's shields. Captain America's shields don't really do anything to Thanos when he gets punched in the face by them. But then when Thor actually uses that Uru Stormbreaker hammer, it goes right into his chest. So that really shows you that Uru metal is probably a lot stronger than vibranium is within the MCU. And of course, let's get to the results of this and really see if this theory actually will happen in Avengers 4. And as you guys can see right here, of a score of 3 to 5, it looks like this theory just is not gonna happen at all. But also, I think it really just proves that there's a lot more saying that this won't happen than it will. Of course, Webheads, for more of these awesome theories, definitely consider checking out the playlist below me I put together for you guys. And if you guys want to be kept up to date with all of the latest in geek entertainment, definitely consider subscribing right over here to Webhead so you guys don't miss a thing on any of that stuff. But Webheads, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.